Okay, oops. All right, welcome and happy Friday to all of our Facebook friends. We are here at Memory Bound, and we're really excited because today our Meet the Staff is Peggy. And Peggy is our newest staff member, although she's been here doing demos and things in the past, and she's quite a crafter, and we're going to learn a lot of new things about Peggy. So we've got that today, which is going to be pretty exciting. Peggy, you are our second Meet the Staff person. And we're sprinkling all of our staff information throughout the month, so you're going to be meeting everybody eventually by the end of February. And we just thought that would be a really fun series to have where you could get to know maybe the people you talk to on the phone or the little messages you see on your orders, and maybe learn some things you didn't know about people. So we're pretty excited. I think so far everyone is really liking the series. We've only had one so far.
It was awesome.
But awesome. Thank you. So this is Peggy's number 2 today. And before we do that, get your microphone on there, Peggy. Before we do that, we are going to show you some new product that came in yesterday from Doodlebug and Elizabeth Craft Design. So let's hop over and do that. So let's go over here, Peggy. Oh, I know one thing that I don't think I had a squirrel moment, but I also want to let everybody know that the Caterpillar crease pads came back in stock. Chris has shown these, Diana uses it. It's a scoring board, and it's got a really unique scoring tool, and those gals really love it. And the last time Chris was using it, we had sold out. So those are back in stock. And Peggy, how much are those? Oh, there might not be a price. They're just fresh. Oh, is there?
$39.99.
Okay, they're $39.99, and they do work with the glow boards. So there is a lighted board that you can use with those to kind of help you guide and see things and stuff. So Chris says she loves your layouts, Peggy, so that's going to be perfect.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
And Carol says she loves meeting the ladies who make it all happen. So
it's a fun thing. It's a fun thing. We're learning all kinds of stuff about each other.
We are. I'm learning a lot
just
from talking to Peggy this morning and from some of the write-ups and some of the layouts that we're doing. So let's move on to Elizabeth Craft Designs, and this is the newest release. And why don't we just start right there, Peggy?
Right here? With the set?
So this is a new stamp set, and let's see, it is called Tickets. And this is the one that Diane and I think is going to be, it is amazing. I think it's going to sell really well. And there is a die also that coordinates with it.
Yeah.
And the die is also called, it's Planner Essentials 56, Tickets and Tabs. And so you get your tabs, you get your tickets. Here's a little tab that you can cut out, and then it's got a score line to fold it in half.
I love that it has the dies for the tickets and the stamps for the tickets that fit right in there.
They're going to coordinate perfectly.
Awesome.
And then there's another stamp set, and I haven't looked to see what these are called. These are the new releases. Let's Stick Together. Oh my gosh, and it's got a big bottle of that. Remember that glue,
the glue,
Peggy?
Yes, like rubber cement.
Rubber
glue,
cement, yes. I always wanted one of those.
I know, it always had that kind of red tip that was spongy at the top.
Yes, and you kind of push on it and the glue came out.
Yep.
So that is new, and then there's a die set. This one I think is pretty cool with the hearts going across the page. Planner's Essential 57, and it's called Heart Overlay.
I like this
and check out the lips, everybody. Perfect for Valentine's Day.
So you can see how the hearts kind of blow across.
Yeah, they're really good at showing you samples on the back. So this is, like I said, good for Valentine's Day. It's got lots of hearts, and you're going to be cutting out all the insides of those, so you're going to have a nice selection.
Positive and negative.
I want to cut out those lips, though, Peggy. That's what I really want to cut out.
Oh, yes, I like the dimension on it.
Okay, and then here's another one that's kind of artsy.
Craft Party.
And what's it called? Art Party? Okay. Planner Essentials 59. So it's got your easel and your little palette, and look at this picture. It's in perspective, like a picture frame or your canvas that you could put right onto the easel, and it's got your brushes. And Diane said the jar has been really popular. People have done a lot with the jar.
I like that jar.
Let's see what's on the back.
What's on the back, yeah.
Oh, fun.
I just think that looks really cool for a craft
This is the latest release, and this one is another really nice one, another kind of crafty.
And this is very timely today for me.
It is very timely. Craft lover. So you got your knitting, you've got your cross stitch, you've got your maybe embroidery, and it's got a really cool page also. Oh, look at the yarn.
The knitting needles.
Yep. So everything you need to celebrate the crafty person. And I want to point out the scissors, because again, they are made so that you cut them out and then they've got a score line in the middle, so you could fold them and they could clip right over a page.
And it looks like on the back that they use them as part of the hole reinforcers.
Well, by golly, it does.
I think that's
Glad
pretty,
you pointed that out.
pretty inventive.
And it's got the word craft lover on there. And I think if you're watching today, you are probably a craft
I
lover.
think that'll be a good seller. That would be
So
good.
then we've got back in stock 3 of the gems from Pink Fresh. We sold out of these because I think they were just beautiful. They're
beautiful
super
colors.
And they're super sparkly, and they're flat on one side, so they're easy to use in your crafting.
On the pages, or
And Chris made the comment that you could use the pin here in wrestling. So if you wanted to use a
great
safety
idea.
pin for, you pin somebody.
and girls wrestling state tournaments this weekend.
Oh, is it really?
Yep, in Iowa City. So yeah.
Well,
lots
and
of
we
people
have a
that-
girl wrestler in the Memory Bound family.
Yes,
because
Becky's granddaughter.
Yeah, Becky's granddaughter. I don't know if she's wrestling in the tournament or not, but she
Yeah,
is.
she
I
is.
just heard
Good.
she was. So good luck to her.
Okay, next up.
All right, this is the first time ever Doodlebug has a card kit. So for all of
Looks
our
like
Doodlebug
fun.
fans or people that just love cute, this
all
is
the
the new
stuff.
kit. It makes 8 cards, and they are really adorable. You're getting the ephemera.
Love 'em.
It's $29.99. And then really all you need to go with it is going to be your adhesive and scissors, and they recommend foam stickers. But this, like I said, I'm kind of excited because they do have the envelopes. They've got instructions, and you have all this cute stuff, which
It's
would be
so
really
much
cute for
bright-
kids or grandkids. And so that is
Bright,
the new
fun
Lots of
colors.
Love. And you're going to find that under Valentine's Day or card kits. And then we have a whole new collection from Doodlebug, Peggy. And that is called Over the Rainbow. I had to
Rainbow.
peek at the name because I couldn't remember it. So Over the Rainbow is here from Doodlebug. It's their newest collection. And who doesn't like happy rainbows? So we've got rainbows, hot air balloons, and we've got some gnome friends.
Yep.
That's a 6x12 sticker. And then this is one of their newer things. This is a die, and it's a layering die, so you don't have a stamp. You don't need a stamp. And if Peggy flips this over, you'll see it's dies to assemble those little gnome friends. Lots
Very,
of cute
very
layers.
cute.
Yeah,
Very,
I'd like to
very
just
cute.
put
I
one
love those.
together to see how cute they are.
And then the flowers too.
And this is the same one, and they call them standalone doodle cuts. This is called Spring Garden. And we'll flip it over so you can see the back and see the dies, and it's got it's really nice size. I like the bigger size.
This would be a nice border across the bottom of the page. Colored
And then you've got the cards and envelopes that coordinate with this. And you're going to find all of the Over the Rainbow is online. If you go to shopping and you go to new, and you'll see Doodlebug Over the Rainbow. And these are a newer product also, these puffy icons. They've had them, I think, in their last release. They're very popular because they're repeats. So you don't get just one of something, you get several. So if you're doing something for a class, this is really nice, and they're a nice small size. And I'm sorry, we don't have prices on this because this just came out of the box yesterday and got checked in, and we haven't even put it on the floor yet. And then there's the mini icon stickers, and those come with 2 sheets, and they are different. So you've got the same images there, just a little bit smaller.
I like using things like this in journal boxes to kind of decorate
That's a
journal
great
boxes. and
idea.
things.
Yes, I love that. And then we have my weakness, and that's the ephemera.
Yes.
So we have the odds and ends and the chit chat, and you get 125 in the odds and ends and 82 in the chit chat. You can't go wrong with this, and it's just kind of happy and spring and family. It's got some shamrocks in it.
Great
We are
for
going to be finding a
embellishment
place to put this
gatherings.
today, Peggy. I'm not sure
things.
where we're going to put it. And then these are your bits and pieces from Over the Rainbow, 42 pieces. They're more like journaling places.
Yep.
Those are super
Great for
cute.
cards.
This is a big collection.
Yeah.
And we've got it all, everybody. So
6x6.
6x6s, which are always very popular. And we're going to show you all the individual papers too. Here's the 12 by 12 sticker sheet. So it's got just, you know, you could use this for St. Patrick's Day, I guess, rainbows and lucky, but it's also good for spring. And here's one of the papers. They're all going to be two-sided. This is the one that's got all the tags on it. And
I like that they put, I like this at the top of the tags where they have that. I think that's
like
great
it because they're blank on one side. So if you don't like what it says on one side, you can look at the other side.
You still get that color, and it's the journaling that goes on it. Fun here.
Yep, that's what you need to make your St. Patrick's Day cards.
Yep. Cute borders.
Yep, I love it. I just think it's so darn cute. And I know we've got a lot of Doodlebug people out there.
So
we know who our doodle peeps are. And here's a nice rainbow stripe.
I love a good stripe. A good stripe is always great in a collection. And these are nice. I like this size. Oh my gosh, I love
those. Those would be so nice for journaling or backgrounds.
Photo mats.
You could build one of your dies, you know, those layering dies. You could build it on one of those big tags. And there's our little mushrooms. And then there's the cut aparts that have all the journaling squares.
Yep. Cute, cute. Rainbows.
Rainbows just make you happy, don't they?
And clouds.
Oh, we have clouds on one side and rainbows on the other. So you got both.
Yep. Polka dot. You can't go wrong with polka dots.
We're going to need a big space for this, Peggy. I can see that right now. We're going to be finding
Look at the cut aparts and the card fronts. It's cute, cute. Loving that. I love these colors in it too. So
you'll have to give us a thumbs up if you're a Doodlebug fan or if you just like cuteness, because either way, this is a winner.
Yes, so pretty. Pretty, pretty.
We're making Peggy work today.
Nice background there.
I always like their florals.
Such bright colors. I love the bright colors.
And there's a big polka dot. And then you got 3x4s. Nice for card fronts.
And the gnomey.
There you go. There's the gnome.
And then the hearts. Very pretty. And then the smaller version of the floral, which is fun. And the green dots. Oh, that's such an Eastery page, I think.
And that's got a little bit of everything on it. I think that's going to be a good one too.
Oh, but wait till you see this.
Oh, yes, I do love that.
Love this one. Cute, cute. I can see this as a border along the side of a page, along the bottom, the back of the page.
They like the bright colors
I do
and
too.
the journaling cards. I love those.
Yeah, the journaling cards are wonderful.
And you know what? The collection is not over yet, so hang on tight. We still got more to show.
Yep, we do.
So we've shown the paper, the 12 by 12, well, all the stickers, I guess we've shown. This is the collection pack that's going to have the 12 by 12 sticker sheet and then all of the papers. So if you just love it and you want to get it all, that's a great way to go.
Yep.
And what's cool is there's also a coordinating cardstock pack. You can get the colors separately or you can get them all together.
Cardstock. This has texture.
So it's got one of all the colors and they have matched them for us.
Yes.
And then there's a pack of petite prints that are all matched.
Can't go wrong with that.
So you could get 3 of those and you'd be set. And Debbie says she's ready for brighter colors, and I couldn't agree with you more. So we are loving it. And those are all the same.
Just the same, yep.
So then we have to go back to we've got the Doodle Pops. You guys, the Doodle Pops are always adorable. And I don't know if you can have to take them out or if you could just... Well, we'll take this one out so you can see it. And there's the little Doodle Pop gnome girl.
So, so cute. This is adorable. I love the shaker.
The cloud's got the cloud, and he's got a rainbow beneath him with the little shakers.
So cute.
And we got another friend that's ready for bright colors. You know, spring will come. Oh, this is great for St. Patrick's Day. Or for 4-H. I know some people like to use that for 4-H. And there's the little gnome mushroom house.
Very, very cute.
And Janet posted a link, so if you want to see everything in person, or not in person, but you know what I mean, close up, you can go out to that link that she just posted and check it all out. And then there's 3 washi tapes. So this one's got the flowers and the little shamrocks in it. Things are showing up really well. And there's hearts. So you can use that for a lot of things.
Hearts.
Janny, I love it. She says she loves the Doodle Pops, but she has a hard time letting them go.
I understand that. I have a collection at home too that I just.
That's why sometimes I have to buy 2 of things. But
Yep.
I did cut into my Elizabeth Crafts Reminiscent Book 5, and that was tough, but I did it. I've tore out 2 sheets so far. And here's the shape sprinkles, and that's got your mushrooms and flowers.
I just love how bright the colors are.
Oh, good job. I like how you're showing these now. We got the pink ladybugs and the mini hearts. That's a Katie item right there. She loves
Can
little
use
hearts
that
like
with
that.
anything.
Exactly, and rainbows too. And there we go for St. Patrick's Day. We got the shamrocks.
We have a few more here.
We're almost done, everyone. We're ready to go meet Peggy. So these items are all going to be dyed or colored to match the collection over the rainbow. So if you, or they can be used for other things. It doesn't have to be over the rainbow or doodlebug. And there are the jewels.
Can't beat jewels. I love sparkles.
I like the jewels.
Sparkles are fun.
All right, so that's over the rainbow from Doodlebug, and we showed you the Elizabeth Crafts, the new from there. And just a reminder, everyone, that we're doing the Me in 23 prompts Teresa's project. So if you wanted to get in on that, check it out on our blog or our videos, or get your cards and you'll be ready to go. And I think we're ready to meet Peggy.
All right.
Now this month, if you're just joining us, in February, we're doing a Meet the Staff promotion. And we have all of our staff members are scheduled to come on our videos in the morning.
Just FYI, Doug is working on images.
Okay. I just got an update. I'll let you know what it is. They're going to come on our morning videos and introduce themselves. We have one this Sunday. So Bobby's going to be here on Sunday. And we might have one. No, I think the rest of them are during the week. So Bobby will be here Sunday, so we're looking forward to meeting her, or having you meet her. I guess I've met her before. And today we're doing Peggy, and we're also promoting the Color Vibe from Simple Stories.
Yes.
And that's what you see back here behind Peggy. And Katie and Janet showed a lot of that yesterday. And I didn't mention it, but yesterday Katie and Janet were both here. It was the duo. And
fun.
They took the Simple Life card kit and they turned it into a page layout, a pocket, and a mini album and a coaster. So check that out, and you'll see what they did with that.
Projects.
And so part of February is meeting our staff and featuring Color Vibe. And Peggy, this is beautiful. Oh my gosh, that is
Color
an
Vibe.
amazing layout.
All Color Vibe.
So Diane just told me something that I need to share. The new Elizabeth Crafts, we didn't have pictures online, but we are working. Doug actually is in the back working to get photos, so you know what you're getting if you're interested in those.
Those are really nice.
All right, I think we're done with announcements. We're
Okay.
done with new, and we're ready for Peggy. So
Alrighty.
I'm so looking forward to today.
Okay. All right. Well, where do you want to start?
Well, tell us about you, I guess, to
Me.
start out with.
Well, I'll start with the most recent, and that is I guess the newest employee of
Yes.
of the Memory Bound family. I started in September, mid-September, as an employee. I had done a few demos before that.
Yes, that was
Over the last previous year and a half before that, from time to time. And then in June of last year, I kind of went into a partial retirement, and so I had some free time, I guess, and so Kelly was nice enough to
Oh my
offer
gosh!
me a
Lucky for Memory
and
Bound.
I jumped.
Peggy
I was so excited.
semi-retired, so she could be here more often.
I do have to tell a story from yesterday. I had the day off yesterday, and of course, I had to come in here because it had been almost a week since I'd been here, and so I was getting ready at home to leave, and I had told my husband the day before that I was going shopping yesterday because I hadn't been shopping for a while. And so when I was getting ready to leave yesterday, he said to me, he goes, where are you going to go? I said, well, I'm going to go to Ankeny so I can stop at Memory Bound, and then I always go to Real Deals and a couple of places. And he goes, I thought you said you were going shopping. And I said, I am. And he said, but you're going to Memory Bound. And I said, I know. He says, that's not shopping. He goes, that's just hanging out.
Well, we love that too.
So, yes.
Whatever it is, we're glad that you come in for
so
sure.
I enjoy hanging out here. It's a fun place, and when I told him, you know, my memory bound T-shirt says it's my happy place. It truly is. It truly, truly
Peggy,
is.
that's really sweet. That makes us all feel a little warm and fuzzy. So thank you for sharing that.
Well, today, I know part of our focus this week is on Color Vibe, and then also an introduction to, you know, who we are as staff members and things like that. The challenge of the 23andMe, so I kind of...
Lots going on, isn't there?
Went in all directions here, but the Color Vibe is really, I mean, I love Simple Stories. Simple Stories and Echo Park are probably my two favorite paper companies, and most of my layouts you're going to see that they will have one or the other of that company in them for the most part. And Color Vibe, I think, just is wonderful because Simple Stories, you know, matches their cardstock with their collections. And so with Color Vibe, you can get all kinds of different colors of cardstock to go with everything. And I love the texture of the Color Vibe. I love the dots. It does
have a
it's
texture.
Wonderful.
It has a pattern, the little dots on one side, and it's pretty much plain on the other, but with a texture.
And I love that part of it. It just gives a little bit of a visual interest to the page without having to add a lot to it. And it's just not so plain, and that's what I really like about it. Now this page right here is one that when you find out about me, you'll find out that my family is, you know, I always say that we're, you know, it's an all or nothing. It's a non-negotiable. We are together. And I love, my favorite times are spending time with my kids and my two grandkids and my husband, and we do make it a priority to do that. And I don't know if I've mentioned before, but at Christmas this past year, my son gave me just a calendar, a desk calendar, and on that calendar he marked at least one day each month, if not more, that we do our monthly family meal where we have activity, or we get together for lunch or something like that, and then we do an activity together. And so in January we kicked it off down at his house in Lenox, and the best part about it for me is that the kids cook. I don't have to do anything. I just
that's
show
even
up.
better, isn't it?
And so they cook. So whoever's house it's at, they do the main meal. The other one brings the dessert. And for that meal, you know, he made he smoked some ribs and homemade mac and cheese, and I mean they go.
Well, it's nice. I can't even hardly get my kids together. It's hard to find a date to get everybody together.
So, and I think you know, in the blog posts that we have coming up on each of us, one of the questions we were asked is, you know, what's something, you know, interesting or fun that people may not know about you? And I think, you know, as far as like our family getting together and my kids getting together, I don't know if people know that my kids are twins. So Micah, Michael, they're twins. And I think the fact that they're twins, that kind of lends to the fact that they are pretty close. And even though they're nearly 33, they're really close to one another, and they stay close and stay in close contact with each other, and for that I'm very thankful.
That's really nice. That's really nice.
But anyway, this layout here, the Color Vibe is the solid paper that I used, the brown, the yellow, the green. It was out of the fall, is that right? The fall?
Yes, that
collection.
Would be the fall.
And then I used the chipboard from that same collection. So the banners down here.
Oh, those are
orange
chipboard.
Paper,
okay.
The hearts, the
little label,
book label, and then the little banner down at the bottom as well came from that. And so did the enamel dots that I used.
And you guys know that Peggy's known for groupings and making beautiful little groupings.
And the pattern paper was from the Jen Hatfield collection that we had here last summer that I used.
It worked out perfect.
Yeah. You know, I'm
great.
not necessarily always a floral person, but I just fell in love with that paper, and I thought this really goes pretty well with that picture, and I wanted to try
it looks
that,
great.
So.
Yeah, I love it.
And then my next one with the Color Vibe I'm going to show is this one over here. And with Color Vibe, you can get the florals, the floral bits. And so this is the fall floral bits, and that's what I used on this layout right here. And then I
I love how you added the big leaves
So,
with them. No
yeah.
one's done that yet.
You know, the leaves actually come with, the bigger ones come with the pack, so you don't even have to, worry about die cutting anything.
So like these leaves come with the pack.
Yeah, these darker ones came
larger
with the
ones,
leaves. Yeah.
Peggy die
These
cut.
larger ones I did die cut, yes. And when I did die cut them, you'll see that on these leaves, I used the back side for the outline on some of them, and then the front side of the Color Vibe on some of them, and then on some of them I
This one
turned it
looks like you
around.
reversed it,
Yep, I
yeah.
turned it around. So that's another nice thing
Makes
about
it
the Color Vibe.
interesting.
You can flip it back and forth because it really doesn't look like it's a front side and back side. It just looks like it's the front side of the cards, whichever side you use. And then I also, with the flowers here, I just layered the different pieces that came in the floral bits. Most of these, I think, have 4 layers on them, I think.
When you
from
see the
different sizes.
package, the packages look, I'm
little
sorry, I'm going to
plain.
say it, they look boring.
plain.
I'm going to say boring. But when
Yep.
you get them out and you start layering and shaping them, they go from boring to amazing. So
And the one nice thing about it, that the colors that they put in the packages are all colors that harmonize with each other. And so you can layer them in any order and you know that it's going to go together when you buy this
that's
package.
a good point, that they
So-
all do go very well
So
together.
you don't have to think, well, is this color going to go with that color or this color on that color? You can use all the colors that are in it to layer. And I think typically you get 5 colors. And isn't that what comes in the, or 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You get 6 colors. So they all go together,
Yeah,
which
this
is really
beautiful.
nice.
This is such a nice layout.
And then to create this layout with some of the flowers, I just took like a pencil and rolled the leaves back on it a little bit.
Yeah,
just to
give
give
them
it a
some
little bit of
dimension.
dimension. And then to adhere it down on my page, I used a lot of foam tape on this one. Not just with the flowers, but with the leaves. Some of these flowers that are out a little bit more, I doubled up with the foam
and you'll
squares.
notice she left these little leaves just
Yep.
loose.
Yep.
Just to
And
make
I like
them,
to do that with my leaves. I don't like to stick them down. I like to leave them kind of loose to give them a little bit of life because leaves flow in the wind. And so I wanted to do that.
And Peggy, we have a request, so maybe sometime about how they love your layouts. Cindy loves your layouts, and she'd love a tutorial on journaling on the computer
absolutely.
and spacing and stuff. So maybe we can do that.
Yeah.
sometime
Oh
and
gosh, yes.
Add
Yes,
it
yes.
to the list.
You know, I do journal a lot on many of my layouts. This one isn't a lot, but you'll see on these, I do have quite a bit of journaling on those. And one of the things about, for me, about being a scrapbooker is that I feel like I'm the storyteller of our family
Well,
too.
exactly.
And so I want to tell the story of our family because they're so important to me. And there are things that, from my perspective, that, sometimes my kids, don't remember or don't think about, and even last night, my daughter and I were having a conversation, and I can't even remember what it was about, but she had mentioned something. And I said, oh yeah, and I brought something else up about it, and she said, oh gosh, I didn't even remember that part, but you're right. Now, you don't get your right out of your kids very often, but I'm taking that
There
one
you
as a
go.
point. But yeah, I mean, I
So it
like
is. I
to
have wanted to
write.
look back on things, and I'm like, oh, I
Yes.
just can't remember.
Yep.
So capture the stories when you can, because someday you will not remember for sure.
Yep. And in fact, I was actually listening to a podcast this week, and it was talking about telling a story, and back in the day, Stacy Julian was she was, I think, editor of Simple Scrapbooks magazines.
Yeah.
And she was on the podcast, but she was talking about how you can on your phone in your photos, you can, like, I think it was, if you pull up a photo on your phone and the little eye for information, if you hit it, you can add a note, or you can write
Oh, I didn't
journaling
know
in there.
that.
And it was like
Well,
an
I'm gonna
aha
try it.
moment.
I'm
So it's
gonna
like
try that.
You can then put a little note about a picture that you take in the moment. So when you get home to scrapbook it, you have that important information that you want to include if you're taking it with your phone. And I think that's important. There are times when I have taken pictures and things like, just this week I'm working on a layout of my kids' 32nd birthday last year. And I mean, it's been, 8 months since they turned 32. And I don't remember everything about it, but I had written notes down on a Post-it note and stuck it with the paper that I wanted to use. So yesterday when I got it out to do it, I could tell the story
that's
from
a good
that.
idea.
So that, Post-it notes I always keep on my desk for that. This is then my Me in 23, again with the Color Vibe paper. I just used 1-inch squares along here
Nice
to bring
border.
in some colors, and then I stitched this on there. And then the florals are the chrysanthemum line that we have up at the front desk. They're just
And
beautiful.
that's new
I love
from
them.
Pink Fresh Studios. I was telling Peggy we have all the embellishments. We haven't received the paper yet, but you didn't need the paper
Nope,
for
didn't
this.
need the paper. The words were important here, but like the banner strips, those are from that collection. But the chipboard, the heart, this little flower here, the leaves, those are from Color Vibe. So I mean, you can mix and match. You don't have to just use simple stories with the Color Vibe. You can use any collection because the colors are so pretty. They go with so many things.
They do. They really do.
So yeah, that's Me in 23. So about my retirement and maybe a full retirement. I don't know.
We
we're
wouldn't
still
mind
working
that.
through that one. I don't know about that. So anyway, so these are my Color Vibe layouts
Nice.
for today.
Very nice, Peggy.
But so I guess.
What else do you want to show us today?
Well,
Where should we go next?
where should we go next? Let's talk about my favorite tools
Okay.
that I use when I scrapbook. My most favorite thing, obviously, if anybody's watched any of my videos before, they know that the Tim Holtz ruler is the #1 thing that I use. I love my Tim Holtz ruler.
Well, the design ruler, and Peggy
gosh.
has used it many times for doing
To
like
stitch,
the
yep,
stitching over here. This is what she
the
uses
straight
it for.
stitching on that.
But
Yes,
even
I
if you
use it all
don't
the
stitch, it's a really
But
handy
it's a
tool.
centering ruler. So like when I did these pieces here, I could lay my ruler right up against it to the
Oh,
depth,
that's how
and
you
then
did
I can make sure that I get my pieces centered on there, and make sure that they're the right in the right position, so that I have it centered on my page.
Nice.
So that centering ruler aspect of it, yes. My paper piercer, which is the other tool that I use when I stitch.
And that's actually a retractable craft knife.
Oh,
But the
I
paper
got
piercer,
the wrong one. Okay,
but the
we won't
paper
do that
piercer,
one.
It looks just like it.
Yep.
It looks just
yep.
like it. It's instead of having a blade that comes out, it's just
pokes
a little
out.
piercer, and it's nice because it's protected because you can slide it back in, so you know
paper
your grandsons aren't going to pick it up and
Right.
pierce themselves.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Tweezers, always use those. I use those like when I set the
For, like, the
flowers
little
on here.
pieces?
Yeah,
That's how it's
all the
used?
time. When I put that journaling square on there, I use my tweezers to kind of tuck it in underneath the different
I can
places
see
there.
that.
So
I feel like
use
I'm
that
all
the
fingers
time,
and thumbs
all the
sometimes, and
time.
that does help.
For my larger pieces, when I adhere it to my pages, I use this. For the smaller pieces, I use the Tombow. And I'll use this like on the stems that I'm tucking in, just on the stem of it. And sometimes the
little glue pen.
glue pen, I'll use that too for the smaller pieces that I use. Let me think.
So Peggy uses the Easy Runner Grand for her big pieces, and then the Tombow tape runners, and then she also likes the little chisel tip. glue
Yeah,
pen.
and I'll use that like to glue on like these little strips like that.
pieces?
Yeah.
Now, just an FYI for everybody, because this is a classic. We've carried this since before we
zig pen.
opened. You do want to shake it now and then
Yep.
to just kind of mix up the glue. And if you put it on and let it dry, it's repositionable.
Yes.
And if you glue it down right away, then it's permanent.
Yep. All right. Well, now I think we'll get to like maybe some of the things you don't know about me.
All
Or if
right.
anybody has any questions,
We know you're a great
know.
scrapbooker. We've
So,
seen a lot
yep.
of your amazing layouts.
some of these over here and move to that
So
stuff.
now we're going to see some new stuff.
So before I started scrapbooking, I was a cross stitcher. And,
And see, none of us knew that.
so that may be why you see the stitching in my layouts now, because it
I
just
think that was an aha
was
this
kind
morning.
of just a natural progression. And so this is how I keep all of my thread. It's very scientific.
So is this the thread you use in your scrapbook
This
too?
this is the floss I use in my scrapbook.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
And this is how I keep it. And when I go to pick out a color to use on a layout, I'll have my layout there, and I'll just flip it over and say, "Oh, I
Oh
wonder
my
what looks
gosh.
good." So very, very highly technical. Not.
But you have them
but it's
labeled
there.
by number because floss.
The right number.
Oh, I was going to say
It's
floss.
not the right numbers.
Floss does have special
Yes,
numbers.
they do have special numbers. I do try to keep floss of the same number in the same little envelope, but it doesn't mean that the envelope has the right number on it.
Okay.
But because when I'm not cross-stitching, it isn't quite as important to know what the number is if I'm just putting it on.
I'd like to know how
So-
many viewers are cross-stitchers or have cross-stitched in the past.
But yeah, it was just kind of a natural progression. And as I was telling Kelly today, I mean, I was a prolific cross-stitcher until a friend of mine just kind of took me kicking and screaming to a scrapbook store one day. And that day,
Oh my gosh, Peggy.
after that day, my cross-stitch things went in a drawer, and I became a paper crafter.
So
and
when
I've
you
never
went
looked
to the
back.
scrapbook store for the first time, was it for a class or just a shop?
Just a shop.
Just a
She
shop?
wanted to stop there, and I was with her that day. We had been shopping out, out and about, and she wanted to stop there, and I thought, I don't have time for this, And she took me there, and it's like, oh my gosh, the color, and all the different things. So I did bring along my first scrapbook.
Oh, we love to see
yes,
first scrapbooks. And
So,
a lot of people
I've come a long
are
way.
commenting about they did cross-stitching or they do cross-stitching. So that's really fun to see.
So so this is one of my early pages of my kids. I started scrapbooking, they were in 4th grade when I started to scrapbook. So I don't know, some of these pages make Michael look like the girl because he's got the longer hair, but he always had longer hair. But yeah, some of these pages
Well, these look
are
very
just
familiar to a lot of other first scrapbooks.
yeah, all the shapes and the edges,
Decorative
and
scissors. This is very cool. This was pretty cool. Ahead of your time a little bit
Yeah.
there.
Again, I mean, always including the journaling and things, and I mean, hand-drawn
Yep.
titles
I used to
and
teach
things.
lettering.
Yes, I was not good at it. But
And then how many people recognize the little frame up, the Me and My Big Ideas kids?
they were so popular. They were my favorite thing.
Oh, they were, yes. We had them here at Memory Bound and it was
rolls
crazy.
and rolls. Some of these, let me see if I can find. My very first page was a soccer
There's some more Me and My Big
page.
Ideas
Yeah.
kids.
I just thought I was so cool here when I actually printed right on my layout with my journaling. I thought, oh, that's like an aha moment for me. I could do that, run it through. But let me see. Oh, this was my very first layout ever.
This one right here with the soccer.
Yep, that was my very first layout ever.
Oh my gosh. And I'm recognizing the Creative Memories albums because that's
Yep.
how a lot of us got started.
So yeah.
There's lots of comments and the Mrs. Grossman stickers that
Yes.
people are seeing. Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh, didn't we all just have like a collection of stickers that were just
Yes, we had.
Yep.
I had a notebook of all stickers. Peggy, this is extremely
the
clever.
Father's Day one?
Very, very fun. And you
Right,
guys,
he
this
looks
is
happy.
before they had embellishments.
Yes, you
and
had to create your own.
You did. I remember doing a Mickey Mouse album, and I had to use circles to make my Mickey Mouse head.
Yeah.
So
What
I
were
remember they
these little
had.
people called? I can't remember.
Those are from EK Success, and they had templates, and then they had stencils, and ooh, I
and
would have to
used
think
them.
on
I
it.
used a lot of them. I can't remember them either. But yeah, I mean all the
So we got to see Peggy. We got to see her latest work and her
Yes.
earliest work.
I've come a long way, thank goodness. Thank goodness.
And we have a lot of people. Cecilia says it brings back memories. Pat's done a lot of needlework. Leanne said her first scrapbook has writing under each picture, and she's going to do it again. Dawn says, I cross-stitched before I had children. I started a Christmas tree skirt for the 12 days of Christmas and got to day 3. Oh, that sounds like one of my projects.
Well, we'll go back to the stitching part.
Okay.
real quick if we want to.
Yeah, let's do it.
You know, I was big into the cross stitch at the state fair. Maybe something you guys didn't know about me with the cross stitch. I actually got the nerve up one year to enter a couple of pieces in the state fair, and The Heart That Loves Is Always Strong. It was one of my very favorite pieces that I've ever done. And when we went, I made my husband go to the fair the first day of the fair because I wanted to see if I had won a ribbon or anything like that. And lo and behold, much to my surprise, there was a blue ribbon hanging off of that.
Oh
so
my gosh!
I was very
How
excited
sweet is
about that one. And then the Christmas stockings for my kids, I made those cross stitch. I started these when they were about 3 months old, and my goal was to finish them.
And remember, Peggy
Yep.
had, well, still has twins,
Yep.
so she had twin babies when she made these, and everyone was oohing and ahhing over these today.
And so this one got a red ribbon with the state fair. I had actually, when we got the questionnaire, I had actually sent my kids a text, and I said, okay, this is a question. What's something fun or interesting about me? And one of the first things my daughter said was, you know, you have twins. That's always my go-to.
Yes,
she
that
said.
is a
And
good
I said,
go-to.
okay, I can do that one. And then she said, you can tell people that you won ribbons at the state fair for your cross stitch. And I thought, oh,
Well,
I could
that's
do
right.
that. I
Not
had
everybody
never thought
can
about
say
that,
that,
one, you
or
know?
even entered it. So.
And then her third thing was because I am deathly afraid of storms. So spring is not my favorite season. But my dad gave me a weather radio one year when my kids were young. And so she said that I had made my kids believe that weather radios were regular features in people's homes.
That everybody
As
had
they
a
were
weather
growing
radio.
up. Yep. So, but yeah, I
Okay.
was a prolific cross stitcher at one point.
Well, very nice. Oh my gosh, your work is beautiful, Peggy.
So
We have a couple questions.
Sure.
First of all, Janet posted here for me, and I don't remember who it was, and I apologize, but somebody remembered that those were called paperkins.
Oh, paperkins. Yes.
Paperkins, those little kids, and
Loved them.
they had stencils.
love
They
them.
had. They ended up having punches. They had the pieces that were already pre-cut.
Yep, and you could build different characters and
Right. And
Yes.
then Mary wants to know what your real job was that you retired from.
my real job was I work.
We know this is not a real job here at Memory Bound.
This is the fun job. I worked full time for Madrid Schools in the district office. I was the HR director. The last 6 years that I worked for Madrid, that was my position, and I was shared between Madrid and Ogden, so I was half-time at each of the schools. I retired from Madrid in June, and then Ogden picked up my contract, so I still technically work for Ogden on a part-time basis as a HR director.
Okay, and then Corrine wants to know what kind of albums you use now. We saw your first album. Or you're
These-
going to show us?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
The last time I was here, someone had asked about what my albums look like because of all the dimension that I put on my pages. And so I brought an album.
Okay.
So you kind of see there.
And it looks just fine. I mean, everything
Yep.
looks like it fits fine.
It does. And this is
So she's
the
using
other one.
3-ring binders.
Yes, I like the D-ring, the 3-ring binders. Those are my favorite rather than the strap hinge, which was that first one. I like the 3-ring binder because I can move my pages around a little bit easier in that, and I can also put more pages in the album. So this
that
is
does
actually
make a difference.
This is my second grandson's album. This is Max's album. So I mean, I use dimension on all the pages. This is getting to meet him for the first time. But I do use, you know, I mean, all of my pages have dimension on them, and they stay nice in the 3-ring binder. I do store them laying flat.
Oh, you do store them flat.
I don't
okay.
stand them up. I don't have room anywhere for that at my house. So they do lay flat, but it doesn't seem to really affect the dimension on things. So the foam tape, you know, obviously keeps everything up. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm usually trying to be
Yeah.
kind of generous if I am popping something up. I'm
No, like
using more
this
foam
one-
tape than I am
This one
squares.
here, because I've rolled the paper on that, It still has, you know,
Yeah,
I don't
it
have a
still
lot
looks
of weight
fine.
on it, so it still
Well,
is
and
looking
your
okay.
album isn't like packed either.
No.
It's not like bulging.
No, no.
That probably helps.
I am probably one of the leaders of the gang with layouts that are not put in albums.
Okay, here's a confession now.
Many of my layouts are not in albums. I tend to finish a layout, put it in a tote, and then go on. That's how they're stored most of the time. And every so often, every few months, I think, man, I need to put those in albums. So I'll do like an afternoon of trying to figure out what album I want, layouts in and put them in albums.
So there's a couple more questions. Since your kids are grown, do you give them their scrapbooks of them growing up, or do you keep them?
They have never asked for them, ones of them growing up, so they're still at my house. Eventually they'll get them. But now, like my son with a lot of the football ones that I do for him of his team, I have an album at home that I put all the layouts in. Some of the layouts I've framed and given to him. My daughter, actually I do a Mother's Day mini album for her every year.
Oh,
And so this
nice.
is one that I did for her. It's kind of crunched because her little boys have looked at it a few times.
And enjoyed it probably.
Yep, so I've done this. This is, I think, the year that Max was born. So for Mother's Day, I go through all of, the camera roll. We have a shared Amazon photo account, and so she uploads all the pictures there, and then I can take them off that. And so I'll go through and I'll just pick out, different pictures from the year before. And I know I've got some clips in here. And
It's very pretty. Looks like Cartabella to me.
I think it is.
Oh, a little bit of everything,
Yep.
maybe. And then, along with the other question, do you just do family scrapbooks for you to keep? I guess they're wondering, do you give your kids their books, and do you just do family books for yourself? But it sounds like you just kind of keep them, and then someday.
Yeah, I mean, I keep them for myself. I mean, I'm the one that enjoys them most. My kids like to look at them sometimes when they come over. I was really surprised. There was one afternoon that really stands out to me when we held a friends and family baby shower for my daughter before our first grandson was born. And it was in the fall when we had it, and I can remember walking in the house that afternoon, and both the kids and a bunch of their friends, they were sitting in our living room, and they had gotten some of the scrapbooks off the shelf that I had in the living room, and they were all going through the scrapbooks.
Oh,
and
that
just
gotta
really
make
warmed
you-
my
oh
heart
my
because
gosh.
I could hear my kids telling them stories about the different pages.
And that's kind of
things.
how you
And so-
remember your life
Yeah.
is through photos. So if you have scrapbooks, it's even better.
Yeah.
So Linda wants to know if you still cross stitch.
Nope.
Julie says, congrats on your ribbons. Your work is beautiful.
Thank you.
And they love seeing your pages. They want to know where you got those big red rings at.
I think I ordered them off Amazon.
So maybe they're from online somewhere. And they want to know about printing your pictures, if you do it yourself or if you use a service.
I use Walmart for all of it.
Okay,
All
so
of
she
it.
gets her pictures printed at
I don't
Walmart.
have a home printer or anything like that. I print from Walmart.
Okay, and we're all caught up on questions then.
So we'll go to these now, because one other thing that people don't always know about me either is that I was on a design team at one time for a company called Scrap and Sports and More,
Which we loved. We
yes.
absolutely love Scrap and Sports.
and they
More.
had some fabulous sporting in all different sports, and they also did some custom paper as well. And so I brought some of my layouts from when I was on the design team, and I think that design team really helped me grow quite a lot as far as scrapbooking. You can see that there's a lot. This is from 2010 is when these were from. So, over a decade ago, but I've come a long way from that first scrapbook. to this.
Yeah, this would be your next
And
step.
so then, now I'm here. But you can kind of see that, my style was starting to really develop and come along here. But my daughter was a big softball player. My son was a football player. They both played in high school and college, so I had a lot of sports pages to do.
You were the perfect person to be on the design team.
So I had lots of materials. And so being able to be on the design team and using, their new papers and things as they came out was just awesome. So these are just a couple of my layouts. Micah, she was a pitcher. This was kind of exciting. Her freshman year of college, her team, they were D3 national runners-up. The national tournament was out in New York, and she got to meet Yogi Berra. I can remember the day that she met him. She called home and she said, "This is just so awesome," because she's a huge Yankee fan. And they went to the Yogi Berra Museum, and she got to meet Yogi Berra, and she said, "This is just like being in Yankee heaven," she said.
Well,
So
and
she
you
was
captured that
yes.
comment right there, which
Yep.
is really
Yep.
fun.
So yeah, she just loved that. So I mean, that was an exciting time for her. And then one of her first starts, her freshman year, playing for co-college. So that was
Very
that
nice.
one. And then my son played football at Buena Vista. He was a center and a guard on the offensive line. And it took me a long time to figure out why they call them the long belts, but I do know it's because that offensive line, they're so big, their belts have to be very long to go around them.
Oh my gosh,
But,
I've never heard that before.
But yeah, I always thought, they were kind of the unsung heroes, because you always knew who the quarterback and the running backs were. You never knew who the center was. But and these were all Scrap and Sports and More papers.
That was a wonderful company.
So-
we had a lot of their product, probably about everything, and very nice people. I was sorry to see them close down.
Me too. They were really a nice group of ladies to work for and to work with, and I really enjoyed being on the design team. It was a lot of fun, and I got to meet some ladies from across the country that were also on the design team that I still keep in contact with today.
Oh, that's nice.
So that was kind of nice too. And then they actually ventured out into some more non-traditional. Different types of papers, monthly papers, family papers, and things like that. And that's what these papers are from. That line.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's
So
right. You kind
it
of
wasn't
forget
just
about
exclusively sports. They did do some, and then they did some. You could get some that were custom as well. You could order custom
I'm
papers
supposed
if you
to
wanted
ask
it.
you this question, and I don't know if I've kind of been sitting on it, but
Okay.
I'm supposed to ask you about the Penthouse Gang.
Oh, the Penthouse Gang. Oh, those are my dearest friends. There's about a dozen of us that we crop together. And
Is that the mothership people?
they are the
Okay.
mothership people. They are.
All right.
In fact, we have a Penthouse crop coming up here in a couple weeks that I'm looking forward to. They're just the sweetest. Let me go back on that one.
Oh, wait. She's starting to say they're the
I'll
sweetest,
say another
but
story.
hold off.
They are the sweetest people ever. But a few years back, probably 5 or 6 years ago, I really wasn't doing very much scrapbooking. One of my dear friends that I used to scrapbook with had passed away, I think 7 years ago, 6-7 years ago, and so I wasn't scrapbooking as much as what I had been. My kids, had just graduated from college. I didn't have as many pictures to do, and I kind of just wasn't doing it. And then one of my best friends, her sister was a big scrapbooker, and she and I got together one afternoon at a friend's house, and we started talking about it. And she invited me to go to a crop at Camp Sunnyside with her, and so I did. And it kind of ignited that passion again with paper crafts and scrapbooking. And I got to meet, some of her friends, and that led to going to a couple other crops that I got to meet some other
nice.
people. And so, I mean, out of all that, there's about a dozen of us that really click and get along really well. And they truly are. They are just the sweetest people, and I'm so thankful to have them in my life. We have a Facebook message group, that we keep going all the time, and it's really fun. They're wonderful.
That's fun to have crafty
They are
friends
wonderful.
to do things with.
Yep. But yeah, the Penthouse group, it's a lot of fun with them. And I guess the last thing I was going to talk about myself, I brought these books. I am a prolific reader. I bring my Kindle just about everywhere. The thing I love about my Kindle case is that it opens up and it turns on automatically.
Turns on all by itself.
All
oh
by
my
itself.
Gosh.
So I take this with me almost everywhere I go. If I have 2 minutes to read, I can.
Then you'll read.
I do.
She's a good
I
reader.
love it. And this year, actually, I have a little chart at home that I am tracking the books that I've read.
Oh, well, that's a
so
good idea.
I think I'm going to try to maybe do a layout on that if I
Teresa's
actually keep up
doing
with
an
it.
album
Yeah.
with her book club.
So I'm going to try to do that. So, and then another thing about that, my kids are both readers too, and so when we got together for our family meal in January, the kids and I decided that we were going to read A Man Called Ove, which is that man called
Oh, okay.
Otto
Having
movie.
like a family
and then
book club.
Yep, family book club, and then we're going to go see that movie together. So looking
Nice.
forward to that. My grandkids they love books too, and so I brought some of my favorite books I have at my house that we like to read whenever they come over. So if grandmas, moms, whatever, if you're looking for books, for your kids,
Yeah, good tips.
this is a great one. Hippopotamus. My grandson's, even though Brazen is 5, he still loves to sit on my lap and have me read this one. It's all about a hippopotamus with the hiccups
Oh my
and meeting all
gosh,
the
it's
other
so
animals,
funny.
and it's really a very sing-songy, fun book. I would recommend this one. There's a series of books by this Andrea Beatty. This was one of her later ones. Aaron Slater, illustrator. There's Iggy Peck. There's Rosie Revere. There's Ada Twist. Sophia Valdez. These are really great books. They have great illustration in them, and always a fun story that it tells. This is about a little boy who is dyslexic and has difficulty reading, but he is an artist and he loves to draw.
Oh,
And
how
so it's
sweet.
really fun book. In fact, one of my Penthouse Gang gals is a second grade reading teacher, and when that book came out, I sent that to her because I just loved it. My Voice is a Trumpet. If anybody's familiar with country music, Jimmy Allen is a country music
yeah.
artist, and this is really good. And this is just about expressing yourself and using your voice to tell people who you are and to be kind in the world. So this is a good book. I love
Everybody
this
should
one.
read that for sure.
I really like this one a lot, Jimmy Allen.
I'm making note of these too. These will be
And
good
then-
for our grandsons.
How to Care for Your T-Rex. I think all little kids go through the dinosaur stage, and we have read this over and over and over again at our house, and it's a fun one. They really like it. It's a cute little story about taking care of your
Oh,
T-Rex.
the
and-
drawings are just
Yes,
so cute on that,
mhm.
Peggy.
And that's what I love. I really like the illustrations on so many of the pages, and it's got the pages that come out and things.
whoa.
So
Yeah.
So and then my son, who is a school counselor, he is a K-12 school counselor, and so I'm always looking for children's books to add to his counseling
For his
library,
library?
too. So I love bookstores, and I love to go to bookstores. I love to buy books, and I think that's about all
Did
about
we cover
me
it?
today.
There's one
Yeah.
question that somebody
Sure.
had about how do you pick out your papers?
How
when
do I
you
pick
a
out my
layout?
papers when I do a layout? I always start with my photo.
Okay.
My photo will dictate the colors of the
So,
layout.
like, for example, in this photo, you kind of
Yep.
went with your scarf colors.
Yep, I went with my scarf colors, and then I need to get more adhesive on that. But I kind of went with the colors in the scarf, and picked my. I usually will pick my pattern paper first, but since I was working with Color Vibe, I went with these colors here. And then from here, then I will look for a pattern paper or embellishments that will complement that.
Okay.
And that's usually how I start with my layouts that way. This one, I wanted to really focus on this gold color in here with a little bit of the orangey red in there. And
It
so
worked
this
out really
kind of
well.
gave me that
Yeah.
here and in these. And I actually did want to use these embellishments too and in things because I thought they were a nice compliment. But usually I will start with the photo, and then I will look for the paper that maybe has colors that will
So look
coordinate
at your
with
photo,
it.
and it was. It's been suggested a few times, maybe yesterday even, if your photos don't have, if they're crazy, then print them in black and white or
Yes,
sepia,
yes.
and then you can do about any color you want.
that you want, yeah.
So.
And the other thing I like to say about it is in this photo, I do have a lot of kind of, that orangey, reddy color. So I didn't want to really use this a lot in my background
Right,
papers.
so your pictures would
because I wanted that
stick
to
out
come
more?
out. I wanted to use it, but I wanted it to be more of an accent color with it. I wanted the yellow to be more of that standout color. In
and
there.
it turned out very nice.
So sometimes when my photo has a lot of one color in it, then I will use some of the colors that aren't as obvious in it. As I'll use those more in the background than.
And we had
the other.
somebody that recognized you have twins, but one's a Hawkeye and one's a Cyclone, which those are the two competing universities here in Iowa.
It's a killer.
Killer.
It's a killer, I know. Yes, my son-in-law and my daughter are Hawkeye fans. They brainwashed the little boys to be Hawkeye fans.
That's right. Katie's or Peggy's a
Yes,
Cyclone fan.
My husband and I and my son, we are huge Cyclone fans.
Well, maybe when they're
And-
older, you can work on those grand boys.
They came over last night. They both had Hawkeye stuff on, and I looked at them and I said, "You came to Grandma's house? This is a Cyclone house, and you're wearing Hawkeye?" And they just laugh and laugh and laugh because they know
gosh.
it's just a big joke.
And then Pam was wondering if you would mind telling about the tattoo on your wrist. And
Oh,
what
the
that
tattoo
is.
on my wrist. I actually have two tattoos. I have one on my foot and then one on my wrist. Both of them are my daughter's handwriting
Okay.
on it. The one on my foot actually is written in Italian. We are an Italian family. It's written in Italian, and it actually says "Follow your heart." But the one that's on my wrist is a Nora Ephron quote, and it says, "Be the heroine of your own life."
Oh, that's so
And so it's kind of, I
inspiring.
just have to kind of remind myself of that,
Well, when you see it,
when
it
times
kinda
get kind of
yes.
tough and things. Now, of course, I wanted to have the word heroine on the front, on the top of my wrist. And then after I got it done, I thought, I work in a school.
Oh, and here you are.
But it's spelled differently than the drug, so
Oh my
so
gosh.
I'm okay there. But I thought, oh, that maybe wasn't the best thought out plan.
Yes, you'll have to
But
think about that.
I kind of joke about that one. But yeah, when things are good in life, or when things are a little difficult, sometimes I just have to read that just to remind myself that I am in charge of what I do in my life.
Well,
and
that's
I can
kind
find
of
things
giving me a
to,
few goosebumps, Peggy.
do. I mean, it was in response to a difficult time, and so.
And
it's
well,
just
and we have
meaningful.
several people that commented they thought you had an adorable outfit on. So
Thank
I do want
you,
to share
thank
that
you.
with you.
If you ever have a chance to get your colors done by House of Color Des Moines, do it. I love House of Color, and I'm an autumn. If
She's an
you'll see,
autumn.
I'm an autumn. I'm a green leaf autumn is what I am. So the earthy tones of autumn.
So if you get your colors done, you can kind of compare and see what you are.
Yep.
Compared to Peggy. And I just want to say thank you for sharing your pages and a little bit of other
a little bit
things.
of life, yeah.
Some of your life. It's fun to
Yeah.
know you have twins, and
And you survived.
you survived.
You survived. They survived.
They're
we all
grown
made
up.
it.
They're
We made
alive.
it.
They grew up.
Yep.
And Peggy, thanks
made
so
it.
much for
So,
being here today. I love these Meet the Staff sessions, and I hope that all of our viewers are enjoying them. And then we are going to be back on Sunday, which is kind of unusual for us, but Bobby is going to be our Meet the Staff on Sunday. She works just a day or two here and there in the evening, so it's kind of hard to catch her, but we're going to catch her on Sunday. and they say great story and such a
thank
treat
you.
today. So
Thank you,
Peggy,
thank you.
thanks a whole bunch, and everybody loved it.
Well,
so
thank
it's nice
you.
to share
I
your talents
enjoyed
with
being
us.
here. I enjoyed.
I think
being
we
here.
all
I
learned
love
some
doing
things.
I love doing the demos, and I love to.
Well, and we're going to
share
plan on
passion.
having Peggy do a lot more
So,
demos. So.
Yep, I love to share my passion.
And I love it because Pam says, "Thanks, Peggy. It was nice to meet you." So
Well,
isn't
nice
that
to meet you
sweet?
too, Pam.
Isn't that
Thank
sweet?
you. Thank you.
So everyone, have a wonderful crafty day and a crafty weekend. And we will be back on Sunday, and then we'll also be back on Monday. And what does that little paper say over there, Peggy, about what we're doing on Monday? Or maybe we don't. Maybe it's not updated for Monday yet.
Oh, yep. Teresa's an update of me in 23.
Oh, so Teresa's doing
introduction,
me
yeah.
on 23, and she's
And her
doing her
introduction, so we'll learn about
intro.
Teresa on Monday.
So she'll be here, and we'll see you all then.
Yeah.